Hey everyone, welcome back to our way too early seasons predictions. Who we're going to be looking at today is the 2024 Miami Hurricanes schedule. So we're going to be going game by game, seeing which games we think they're going to win, which games we think that they're going to lose, and we're also going to try to predict the final score for every single one of those games. Go ahead, hit that like button and subscribe. We're going every single team by team, looking at the 2024 schedules, trying to do a way too early predictions. And once the regular season starts, we do a week prediction every single week, looking at the spreads, money lines, and the over-unders, and trying to pick every single game. And we also do the same thing for every single NFL games, Thursdays, Sundays, and Mondays. Like I said, hit that like button and subscribe, and let's get things started. So we were looking at the Miami Hurricanes today. Obviously, they're coming off of a 7-6 season last season, counting the bowl game. They had some players go to the draft. They lost mainly a lot of players on their secondary. They lost Kitchens, they lost Williams, so they are rebuilding the secondary, but no one has been as hard at work as Mario Cristobal. He still has the same two coordinators coming back. He has Dawson, he has Guidry. Guidry should be even better with the defense. They were a top 35 defense last year. Look for them to move up to probably a top 25 defense this year. The offense was a top 40 offense last year. I think they were ranked number 37. They were a lot better than they were the previous season, but they had issues with Tyler Van Dyke at quarterback. But that's been completely fixed. They're now bringing in one of the most prolific college passers of the last 3 years, Cam Ward, transferring over from Washington State. This is a guy who's thrown for over 4,000 yards before, 40 touchdowns before, and he's been in a similar air raid system. So he should technically fit in nicely with Shannon Dawson, who does run a power air raid offense. So that's going to work. They are very deep at the running back position. Fletcher is hurt as of right now. Who'd they go get? They got the number 2 transfer running back. They got Damian Martinez from Oregon State. From Oregon State. Ward was from Washington State. But Martinez is a beast of a running back. He's 235 pounds. He ran for 1,200 yards last season. He's going to fit in perfect with this offense. They got Brown, the wide receiver from Houston, and they were already extremely deep at wide receiver. They have Restrepo, Horton, George. They have a lot of pieces there. They have Bain on defense. They're going to have an extremely deep defensive line, but the issue is still the secondary. But they've had non-stop back-to-back top 10 transfer classes. They've had top 10 recruiting classes back-to-back, a number 5 this past season. So this team is very deep, very talented. But let's look at their schedule. They kick things off in-state rivalry Saturday, August 31st. The Florida Gators in Ben Hill Griffin Stadium. This game is in Gainesville. The Gators are at home. Gators went 5-7 last year. Billy Napier is feeling the heat. If you want to know how I predict their season outcome to be, I do have a Florida Gators prediction video for the 2024 season. But Florida has a lot of pressure on them. Billy Napier is feeling it. His seat is on fire right now. He cannot go back-to-back seasons without a bowl game. They had the toughest schedule in college football last season. They again have the toughest schedule in college football this season. They play 9 ranked teams, probably the most difficult schedule I have ever seen at any point of a college football season. But they are a very talented team. They have been recruiting well. They have been working the portal. They bring back Mertz at quarterback. He had 22 touchdowns, 3 picks last year, threw for like 2,500 yards. Didn't light it up, but he had a very efficient season. He's back second year in the system. Team's very talented. They are at home. Miami, their first game in this system with these playmakers is versus an in-state rival. The pressure is going to be on Ward to perform game 1 with a new team, for Martinez to perform game 1 with a new team. But if anyone can do it, it's these experienced guys. I would not be surprised if Florida is like a 1-point favorite starting this game. Miami will be ranked probably between 15 to 20 to start the season. But Miami's extremely talented. Their offense should be able to keep up with anyone. They're probably going to average about 450, 460 yards per game. But game 1, their biggest issue is the secondary. They're not going to be fully gelled yet, ready to start the season. So this game could potentially be a shootout. I'm going to go with Miami winning a close one. Probably like a 33 to 27 one-possession game. If Florida wins this, I would not be surprised at all. But Mario Cristobal, year 3, you cannot lose to the Florida Gators with a 5th-year college quarterback, Cam Ward. But Miami starts out 1-0. Next game, September 7th, Saturday, the Florida A&M Rattlers. This game is in Hard Rock Stadium, the first home game of the season. Obviously, coming off of a win versus the Gators, Miami's ready to get the ball rolling, blow out some lower-level teams for that defense to start the gel, but look for them to pull Cam Ward after the first half. I have Miami winning this one 37-10. They're now 2-0. They follow that up Saturday, September 14th, versus the Ball State Cardinals. This game is also at home. Like I said, Miami has a pretty easy schedule this season. There's absolutely no reason for Mario Cristobal to perform worse than 9-3. A 9-3 season is technically a letdown with the amount of talent on this team, with the amount of senior talent on this team. Look for Miami to get another win versus Ball State, for that defense to start gelling, start learning how to play together in this new system with a lot of new playmakers on the secondary. A lot of young talent there, but this is their first season starting. Miami's 3-0. They'll beat Ball State, I'm going to say probably about a 40-13. They're 3-0. They follow that up, another in-state rival, Saturday, September 21st versus USF Bulls. USF actually really came on last season. Obviously, they had that game versus Alabama where they kept it really close the whole first half. They were actually up for a lot of that first half. USF had a really good season last year. This is a team you don't want to overlook. This is a potential sleeper team that if Miami doesn't take this game seriously, they could end up catching one across the jaw and kind of getting woken up second half and they're down or they're only up by 3 points and then people start to panic. They pull it out second half because they have the power run game. Look for their offensive line to lean on USF second half. But I do have this game being close first half because Miami's starting to sleepwalk through the season through that first half. But this game catches up on them, but look for them to come out the gate second half and to administer dominance. I have them moving to 4-0, beating the Bulls here, but not really taking control to that second half. I'm going to say they win this one a 33-17 game. But it's probably like 17-17 at half, and people are really pissed off, but they finally get control. 4-0. Next game, Saturday, September 27th, versus the Virginia Tech Hokies. Do not overlook Virginia Tech. They came on really strong last season. They were running for 225 yards per game, one of the best rushing teams in the country. Look for them to try to continue that. They're going to try to dominate Miami. This game is in Hard Rock. Virginia Tech was one of those old rivalry teams that the Miami teams used to have in the early 2000s. We need to get it back to that because Virginia Tech is also one of those teams, just like Miami. They're a powerhouse program. They need to get back on track. But Miami's weakness is not the D-line. If you want to run on Miami, that's fine. Their weakness is the secondary. If you're a vertical team, you have a better chance of beating them. I have Miami beating Virginia Tech because you're running right into their strength, their D-line. But this game, it's not going to be a blowout. I could see this one being a 30-20, 30-23 Miami victory. They're now 5-0 and really moving up those rankings. They follow that up Saturday, October 5th versus the Cal Golden Bears. Welcome to the ACC, but Miami has to travel all the way to the West Coast, all the way to Cal Berkeley here to play the Bears. Bears had a pretty decent rushing team last season. They were a bowl team last season. They're actually not bad. They're not good, but they're not bad. They did have some really competitive games for some of those top Pac-12 teams also last season. Miami, they've been playing a lot of games straight right now. They're kind of wore out, kind of tired. They're on the road here. They have some jet lag. I do have Miami, though, still getting the win here, exerting some dominance going into their bye week. I have them winning 38-24, and they're 6-0, undefeated at the halfway point. Saturday, October 12th, they have a bye week. They've had 6 straight games. They need to kind of lick their wounds, get back on track. Some of those star players need to start getting rested. You don't want to play too many weeks straight. Guys get hurt. It's a very physical game. They take the bye week. Saturday, October 19th, the Louisville Cardinals, a team that beat Miami last season. They're potentially also going to be a ranked team here, so this is going to be a ranked-on-ranked matchup. I think Miami, coming off the bye week, Miami never plays well off of bye weeks. They lose almost every single bye week. Mario Cristobal also does not have a good record coming off the bye week. He has issues keeping his team focused during the season. First game of the season and coming off of bye weeks. I don't know why, but it is what it is. History speaks for itself. Louisville has been working the portal. They had a lot of guys go out. They had a lot of guys who were seniors last season. They did bring in some transfers. They did have some other transfers retransfer back out, but this is still a very talented team. They had a top 25 offense last year, top 25 defense. They were very rounded. I think Miami's going to get caught looking at Florida State the next season. They're undefeated. That's obviously the biggest game of their season every single season. They're looking at that game coming off the bye week, probably the bye week actually preparing for the Florida State game, and they get caught not doing what they're supposed to do. Why? Because it happens to Miami every single season, probably twice per season. They don't take a game seriously, and they drop a game that they're favored to win because they're not paying attention. History, like I said, speaks for itself. I think it happens again here. Miami gets caught off guard. They drop one to the Louisville Cardinals, but a close one, like a 28-27 or a 30-27, like a one-possession game. They might even lose on the rare missed field goal. Miami is 6-1 going into October 26th. The Florida State Seminoles, their biggest game of the season. Florida State obviously won that close one last season. Miami's got the weapons. Florida State has the weapons. They've been top 12 in recruiting the last 2 seasons. They've been top 10 in the portal for the last 3 seasons. No one knows how to work the portal as good as Norvell. He's up there with Lane Kiffin. They know how to get guys in. They have DJU coming in to replace Jordan Travis. They have playmakers, but it's their first season playing together. Expect Florida State to take a step back. They went 13-1 last season. You know, a lot of people thought they should have gotten into the playoffs. I don't expect them to follow this year up with another 13-1 season. If you want to look at my predictions, look at my Florida State predictions video for this coming year. I have Miami winning this one. A close one, hard-fought one. Miami just has too much talent to me at the skill positions. What I mean by that is Cam Ward, Martinez, Restrepo, and Brown, George at wide receiver. This game is probably going to be a shootout, but I have Miami winning it like not a shootout, but like a 30-27, 30-25 type game. So kind of within a one-possession game. Florida State could definitely win this one. They're one of the top 10 talented teams in the country. But so is Miami. Miami's due to get a win here. I have Miami moving to 7-1. They follow that up Saturday, November 2nd. Duke Blue Devils. Obviously, Manny Diaz is now the head coach of Duke. Great coach. Really good defensive coordinator. Duke has an exodus of talent. Diaz will get that defense playing a lot better after Mike Elko left. But there's a massive talent gap here. This game's going to be personal for Diaz, but I don't really think it's personal for Miami anymore because a lot of his players are gone at this point. I have Miami getting the win here, a 38-21 game, and they're 8-1. Then Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. This was that kneel game last season where Mario Cristobal completely wet the bed, did not kneel. They fumbled. They lost the game. They should have won. They need to get some payback here. They need to get some revenge against Georgia Tech. I have Miami trying definitely to open up a can on Georgia Tech in Atlanta. Georgia Tech, not a bad team. They won 7-8 games last season. Actually, a pretty decent team. Played really well throughout the year. Played Georgia really close last game of the season. But I have Miami, as I mentioned, opening it up, winning this one 44-20, and being 9-1. Really good year so far. Then they have Saturday, November 16th, a nice bye week at the end of the season. Kind of an odd time to have one, but you're going to need it potentially going into a potential ACC championship. They have the Wake Forest Demon Deacons. This team's been completely shredded since Hartman left. They're not the same. They don't play good offense. They don't play good defense, but it's really hard to recruit at Wake Forest. Look for Miami. Even coming off of a bye, they're probably going to play crappy this game, but their talent alone should be able to carry them through this game. I have them winning pretty handedly, probably about a 45-17 win, and a lot of their second string playing second half, but still being able to dominate. They're now 10-1. Saturday, November 30th, the Syracuse Orange. This is a team that has also been working the portal. They're bringing in Kyle McCord at the quarterback position. He knows how to not make too many mistakes. He's an efficient quarterback. He's not any of the Ohio State previous quarterbacks that they had. He's a big step down, but he's probably the best Syracuse Orange quarterback they've had in a couple years. They have a new coach. They have a lot of playmakers coming in. Miami's now looking at the playoffs, potentially looking at the ACC Conference Championship. So this could easily be a slip-up game. Miami always drops 1 or 2 duds per year. It's the way it always works. I think this game is going to be close throughout the whole game, but I actually expect for Miami to finally get through their dud phase and finish the season on a high note, on a win finally. Look for Miami to win this one about a 35 to 24 game. They win. It's about a 1-2 possession win. Miami finishes the regular season 11-1. I said that right. Everyone can laugh at it. They can make fun of it. Deservedly so. Miami does not deserve the benefit of the doubt. We always have high expectations for them every single year. They let us down for 20 years now. They've been letting us all down. This team is too talented. They have the quarterback. They have the best running back they've had since Travis Homer. Really good running back. One of the deepest wide receiver cores in the entire country. A really good defensive coordinator with a really good D-line. Secondary is going to come on strong second half of the season as they get more experience starting. All of the pieces are there. Finally, for the playoffs, 12 teams get in. If you win your conference, you automatically get in. Miami finishing 11-1 should, probably get them in the playoffs potentially, but 11-1 gets them in the ACC championship, where they for sure have a chance to play the highest ranked the next highest ranked ACC team and get into the playoffs for the first time. That would be massive for Mario Cristobal, massive for the program. The Miami fan base deserves to finally make a playoff, to finally be relevant again on the national stage. 2017, they got there for a really short span, but it wasn't meant to last. But this team is loaded. I think a lot of people are sleeping on this roster because they've gotten so used to Miami not playing well, they forgot what it was like for Miami to be on top. I'm expecting this team to remind people how good Miami can potentially be. I don't want to be beating their drum too much, but that's the way that I see it. The talent's there. Just as long as no one gets hurt, the performance should be there also. So that's my breakdown of the 2024 Miami Hurricanes prediction video. Hit that like button, subscribe. If you have any comments, whether you agree, disagree, drop them below and I'll make sure to respond.